World-renowned physicist Michio Kaku, known for decades of calmly and methodically explaining the universe's greatest mysteries, recently showed a noticeable shift in tone after reviewing NASA's latest lunar scans. Typically measured and grounded, in hard evidence, Kaku reacted with visible unease when discussing recent findings from beneath the Moon's surface. While NASA continues its Artemis program with carefully crafted public communication, certain anomalies have emerged in the lunar mapping data, anomalies that appear to contradict current scientific understanding of natural geological formations. Something beneath the Moon's surface was detected that doesn't align with known structures or processes. What we're finding on the Moon might force us to reconsider our place in the cosmic neighborhood, Kaku stated, his words notably more cautious than usual. This has prompted questions about why such a prominent scientist would speak in such deliberately cryptic terms about what should be routine planetary science. The answers may be more disruptive than many are willing to imagine. In early 2024, NASA released updated mapping data from its Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter and Grail spacecraft. While the information appeared routine at first glance, experts noticed something deeply unusual. A massive, highly dense anomaly was found beneath the Moon's South Pole Aitken Basin, measuring approximately 5 times denser than the surrounding lunar material. This was not a minor discrepancy. This mass concentration was so significant that it noticeably distorted the Moon's gravitational field. When questioned about the renewed interest in lunar missions, Kaku described the return to the Moon as a strategic necessity, a choice of words that drew attention from those familiar with his typically scientific vocabulary. "We are not just going back to plant flags, we're going back to answer questions we couldn't before," he said. On the surface, that could refer to investigating water ice or studying lunar regolith, but his phrasing seemed to hint at something deeper, literally and figuratively, perhaps a concealed discovery demanding further exploration. Back in 2019, Baylor University conducted a study on this same anomaly, suggesting it could be the remains of a massive metallic asteroid impact. However, new readings from the 2024 data have led some scientists to question whether the anomaly's composition is entirely natural. The density does not match that of known asteroid metals, and its exact position beneath the Moon's largest and oldest impact basin only deepens the mystery. Even more perplexing were the results of follow-up scans that revealed unusual changes in the region's electromagnetic profile. The anomaly did not behave like a passive geological deposit. Instead, it exhibited dynamic properties that typical, static materials would not display. NASA has designated these types of anomalies as mascons, mass concentrations, often attributing them to ancient asteroid impacts. But recent data from the Grail mission shows structural patterns within the anomaly that deviate from what would be expected if the formation were caused by an impact. The density distribution doesn't align with known natural processes. In 2020, former NASA chief scientist Jim Green made a curious statement: "There are things on the Moon we are only beginning to understand." His wording, particularly the use of things, implies more than just geological formations, possibly hinting at objects or phenomena that are not yet fully explained. The gravitational mapping from NASA has revealed specific, highly concentrated mass points that distort the Moon's gravitational field in structured, localized ways. These are not diffuse or random anomalies. Rather, they appear almost deliberately placed beneath the surface. This is where Michio Kaku's deeper concern becomes relevant. Known for occasionally entertaining theoretical ideas that lie outside the mainstream, Kaku has discussed simulation theory, pattern anomalies, and the provocative notion that reality itself might be programmed. In this context, the lunar findings take on new significance. What if the anomalies detected under the surface are not geological at all? Some density readings suggest not only metal, but characteristics that could indicate buried technology. One of the most striking discoveries is a nearly perfect circular mass formation beneath the lunar surface. This shape doesn't resemble anything formed by natural impacts or volcanic activity. Even more puzzling are the results of seismic scans, which revealed echoes suggesting the presence of hollow spaces or enclosed chambers. Natural caves typically do not generate such specific acoustic signatures. Independent research teams began comparing these patterns with known geological structures and found that the mathematical regularity of the shapes did not correspond to any natural formations. One team noted that the observed symmetry and patterning defied expectations and hinted at deliberate design. Kaku has previously engaged with unconventional frameworks like the Cognitive Theoretic Model of the Universe, CTMU, a theory proposing that reality may have built-in information processing and design. While speculative, such models gain renewed attention when real-world data appears to show patterns inconsistent with random natural processes. The idea being entertained, though cautiously, is that the lunar anomaly might be an artifact, something ancient and unknown, buried long before humanity began to look toward the sky. Scientists are not claiming it is artificial, but many are no longer ruling out that possibility. Adding another layer to this mystery is China's Chang'e 6 mission, which has targeted the same South Pole Aitken Basin region where NASA detected the anomaly. The overlap is unlikely to be a coincidence. Unlike NASA, which maintains a relatively transparent data policy, China has kept its lunar soil findings and subsurface scans remarkably private. Space policy analysts have noted that this level of secrecy is unusual, especially given China's past eagerness to publicize space achievements. Some intelligence sources suggest that Chinese instruments may have identified similar or even more detailed anomalies in the same region. Kaku made a seemingly innocent statement in early 2024. The nation that controls the moon will control the high ground of future civilization. At face value, it may sound like a geopolitical comment, but in the context of these discoveries, it could imply something more. After decades of low lunar activity, both the United States and China are suddenly racing to establish permanent outposts in the same specific part of the moon. The official narrative highlights water ice and helium-3 as motivating factors. However, these do not fully explain the urgency and strategic secrecy surrounding the missions. Historically, when nations focus sudden intense attention on a previously ignored area, it often signals the discovery of something valuable or potentially threatening. Throughout 2023 and 2024, NASA has had to respond to a wave of AI-generated fake moon images circulating online. This surge of misinformation has provided a convenient smokescreen, enabling legitimate scientific questions to be dismissed alongside the obvious fabrications. However, India's Chandrayaan-3 mission captured real footage that raised credible scientific questions. While some media misused this footage to suggest the existence of alien structures, the actual scientific data contained more subtle yet significant anomalies. These included high concentrations of sulfur, unexplained radiation spikes, and irregular thermal patterns that did not match known geological activity, all within the same region where the mass concentration had been detected. Public fascination with the moon often remains limited to surface features, craters, mountains, and the stark lunar terrain. But scientists are increasingly shifting their attention beneath the surface. The subsurface of the moon may hold far more secrets than its well-documented exterior. Kaku, in discussing these recent findings, is not warning about aliens or predicting catastrophe. Rather, he is cautioning against intellectual complacency, the tendency to interpret all new data through the lens of existing knowledge. His warning is subtle but profound. Humanity may be on the verge of discoveries that challenge its fundamental understanding of cosmic history. Whether the mass anomaly under the moon's South Pole Aitken Basin is simply the remnant of an ancient impact or something more enigmatic, the implications are significant. Exploration of the moon is no longer solely about symbolic landings or geological curiosity. It may become central to a deeper reassessment of our place in the universe. The Artemis program's return to the moon is more than the next phase of space exploration. It could be the opening chapter in a redefinition of what it means to be human in a cosmic context. As we move closer to establishing a permanent presence on the lunar surface, the question may no longer be whether we'll find something, but whether we're prepared to understand what we find. Amid all the speculation, some facts remain undisputed. NASA's Grail missions have definitively confirmed the existence of lunar mass concentrations, gravity anomalies so strong they alter the trajectories of spacecraft. The Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter continues to deliver ultra-high-resolution maps of the lunar surface, capable of detecting features as small as a meter across. The Artemis program is focusing its efforts on the Moon's south pole due to its unique geological history, the presence of water ice, and the scientific value of its permanently shadowed craters.